What's going on, everyone? My last video explained how damage works in the Star Wars RPG, so today we're going to break down recovery and healing. From the natural stuff that happens automatically to the different skill checks you and your allies can make, and then finally how to receive medical care from different types of equipment and facilities. The first type of recovery is the stuff that happens naturally, the same for everyone. Automatically, at the end of a night's rest, you recover 1 wound. Automatically, at the end of 1 week's rest, you get to attempt to recover from a critical injury. You make a resiliency check, and the difficulty of that check is based off the difficulty marked on the critical injury table for the injury that you have. These both work exactly the same whether you are a droid or organic. Moving on to the active healing from skill checks, you have different types of medical care. Each character may receive 1 medicine check per encounter. The difficulty of that check is based on how many wounds they are currently suffering from. If that check is successful, they recover 1 wound per success and 1 strain per advantage. You're allowed to make this check on yourself, however, attempting to do medical care on yourself increases the difficulty of the check by 2 points. Also, if you do not have the proper medical equipment on hand, you are going to increase that check by an additional 1 point. Droids use mechanics in place of medicine. The rules work exactly the same with the exception that when a droid is attempting a mechanics check on themselves, they only increase the difficulty of the check by 1 instead of 2 like an organic. Lastly, we have our different types of medical gear and equipment. The most common of these is going to be the stim pack. A stim pack heals wounds automatically, and there's no need to roll, however it does have diminishing returns. The first time a stim pack is used on a character, it's going to heal 5 wounds, but the second time it only heals 4. The third time it heals 3, and so on. Once you've hit your 5th stim pack for the day, you no longer gain benefits from them. You must then have a full night's rest or wait 24 hours before stim packs begin working again, at which point the first stim pack will heal 5 wounds, the second will heal 4, and so on. For droids, there are emergency repair patches. These do not have diminishing returns, they always heal 3 wounds. As a step up from there, your character can go into a Bacta tank. You recover 1 wound for every 2 hours you spent submerged in the tank, unless your character was completely incapacitated, at which point you recover 1 wound for every 6 hours you spend in the tank. If you spend a full 24 hours in the tank, you get to make a resilience check to attempt to recover from a critical injury as if you had rested for a full week. It's important to note that even if you fail this check, though, you do get to recover 1 wound just for having made it. Droids gain no benefits from a Bacta tank, but they can go into an oil bath. Droids recover 1 wound for every 1 hour they spend in the bath, but can never recover critical injuries from going into an oil bath. The last quick topic is recovering from strain, and it's pretty easy. At the end of an encounter, you make a simple, which means no difficulty, simple, cool, or discipline check. Each success on this check recovers 1 strain, and then when you rest for the night, you recover all strain. And that's it. In summary, today we talked about the 3 different ways that you can recover from wounds. Natural healing, where you get 1 wound recovered per night, and then each week you spend resting, you get to roll a resilience check to try to recover from a critical injury. Medical care, where organics make medicine checks and droids make mechanics checks. The difficulty of those checks is based on how many wounds they currently have. If an organic attempts to do the check on themselves, they increase it by 2 difficulty, and a droid increases a check on themselves by 1 difficulty. And then if they do not have proper equipment on hand, you increase it by 1 more difficulty. Next, we had our different medical gear. Stim packs start healing 5 wounds, but they heal 1 less per pack that you use. Whereas an emergency repair kit heals 3 wounds, but it always heals 3 wounds. Then was Bacta tanks. Every 2 hours in the tank heals you 1 wound, unless you were completely incapacitated, where then you need 6 hours per wound. After 24 hours in the tank, you get to make a resilience check as if you had rested for a week, but even if you fail that check, you still recover 1 wound. Droids cannot benefit from back to tanks, but they can go into oil baths. Every hour the droid spends in the bath, they recover 1 wound, but they can never recover critical injuries from an oil bath. Finally, we had strain. At the end of an encounter, you make a simple, cooler discipline, and each success is 1 point of strain reduced, and then when you rest for the night, they all go away. And that's it. That's how healing and recovery works in this system. So, hopefully you learned something, and look forward to seeing you back next time.